Let's join together in our Shabbat Nigunim, our wordless melodies, to bring in the beauty, the joy, and the peace of Shabbat. Ya lai la lai 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 la lai 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 la 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 lai lai lai. Ya lai 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 la lai. Yai lai la 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 lai lai lai. Yai lai lai ya lai 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 lai. Yai lai la lai. Ya lai 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 ya lai ya lai lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Yai lai la lai. Yai lai la 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 lai lai lai. Ya lai 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 lai. Yai lai la lai. La 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, I la la ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la ya la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, la.
Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is so good to be here with you on this Shabbat evening. This week, we are reading from Parshat Matot Maseh, double portion at the end of the book of Numbers, which means that we are about to head into the book of Deuteronomy. Numbers is our wilderness book. This is the Israelite people's 40 years of, there's some wording about this, forming, norming, storming, performing. This is one of those institutional language things. They're trying to figure out exactly who they are and how they function together. And this is all happening along this very long journey. And we're finally getting to the end point. They're standing right across the river from the promised land. They're going to have to listen to Moses talk for an entire book before they're allowed to go in. But in the meantime, they're right there. You can almost taste it. And one of the beautiful things in this parsha is that it actually recounts the whole journey, thinking about every single stop that happened along the way. And it's a great reminder of how important it is to look back, even in small moments, looking back on our week that's passed with each Shabbat, but also in the bigger term, looking back and seeing, wow, how far we've come. And it's when we get to take these moments of pause, when we're between one place and the next place, that we get to look back and see how far it is that we've come, all the things that have happened, all those stops, all those journeys along the way, and that these are the things that together make up a life, and that make our lives special and worthy of living. So this Shabbat, take a few moments as we worship together, as we fill this space with song and words, to lean into that journey, that we're all along all these different spaces, along these paths. Where are we now? Where have we been? Where are we going? As we lean into this melody together.
Thank you, Rabbi. I want to make sure everyone gives a warm welcome home to Sam Powers, who is joining us on the mandolin, not just as a mandolin player tonight, but also as one of our newest full-time TBE staff members. So we're going to see him around the building a lot, and he's actually performed this melody with Nefesh Mountain. So he's going to bring us to new heights. Yai lai la lai, yai la lai lai la lai lai lai. Let's try it again. Yai lai lai. Yai lai 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 la lai. Yai la lai lai. Yai la lai lai. Beautiful. Max, have we been joined by our full community yet? We haven't. Which means, guess what, my friends?
Can we sing it again?
We could sing it again. We could actually sing another nigun all together. And I was just thinking it might be nice to bring a little joy from our melody of Lachun Ranana into our space. Let's see if we can fill the room with our voices. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. La lai, yai lai lai lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai.
So to help us bring in the warmth and the light of Shabbat, I'd love to invite up Gloria Rose to light our Shabbat candles this evening. And if you're on Zoom and you have your candles nearby, bring them up to the front of the screen so that we can fill our virtual sanctuary with light as well. We'll help you. We can turn to page 120 for the blessing over the Shabbat candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Good job,
Shabbat shalom. Shalom. And we turn to page 142 for Shalom Aleichem as we welcome in the angels that are said to celebrate Shabbat with us. Maybe even think about the presence of who would you want to have with you by your side in person or perhaps virtually of sorts on this Shabbat. 142.
Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hasharet Malachei Elyon Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem Malachei Hasharet Malachei Elyon Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boechem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Hamlachim.
page 138, as we welcome in Shabbat herself, the Charudi.
Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, hishmi'anu el ha'meyuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem ultiferet v'litila lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela.
לקראת שבת לכוון אל חכים מקור הברכה מראש מקדם משוכה סוף מעשה ומחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת קלה Penei Shabbat nekabela.
Stanza 5. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva orech, kumi ori, uri, uri, shir daveri, kavod Adonai, alayich nigla lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela.
Rise and face the entrance. Greet the Shabbat bride.
Roi v'shalom,
עצרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, הולך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, הולך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Let's remain standing. Turn to page 146 for Baruch.
Page 146. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
We respond, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach
Le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. La 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 la, 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 la 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 la. La, 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 la.
You may be seated. On page 152. On page 152, we join together for words of Shema, words of listening. There we go.
Your
We
wisdom
join-
needs to be heard.
I know. There we go. On page 152, we join together for words of listening, words of connection. For whatever we're holding in our hearts and whatever is happening in the hearts of our communities, we connect those together and join together for these sacred words. Let's take a deep breath together.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzalecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha vidibarta bam beshivtecha beveitecha uvlechtecha vaderech uvshochbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayu letotafot bein einecha Uchtatam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kadoshim leohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Emet. As the Israelites made their way across the Sea of Reeds to a land of freedom, to the potential of freedom and to eventually a homeland, they sang this song. Who is like you, O God, among all of the gods that could be worshipped? As a declaration of freedom, of what it takes and what it tastes like to hold just a little bit of freedom after so long of being enslaved. So this evening, as we come into Shabbat, a place of rest, let's hold on to the ways in which we feel free and the ways in which we can bring freedom to the world around us. We'll join together on page 158.
Lai 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 mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהי לו אוסף אלה, נורא תהי לו אוסף אלה, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלי ענו ואמרו, זה אלי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהי לו אוסף אלה, נורא תהי לו אוסף אלה, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
On page 160, we join together for a prayer that asks for some protection, for some comfort, for a place of rest, for shelter. And so our wish for us this Shabbat is that we have a shelter like a canopy of peace, and let it fill not only this room, but all of the rooms that are holding this close to their hearts. Let's join together with this very beautiful, sacred melody.
One that I've had on my heart for
For a long time.
a little while here.
Yeah.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, L'shalom V'ha'amidenu Shomeinu L'chaim Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen. Let's try that again. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, L'shalom V'ha'amidenu Shomeinu L'chaim Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, L'shalom V'ha'amidenu Shomeinu L'chaim Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Amen.
Think back on the journey of this week, the many, many steps that we have taken from the last Shabbat to this one, and we lift up the moments for which we can be grateful. In weeks that are easy and weeks that are difficult, there are always moments that we can lift up and hold on to and say, these are the blessings that make my life what it is. So we take a moment to reflect on our blessings, on our moments of gratitude, as we turn to page 164, and we rise for the Amidah.
Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha,
Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha.
Open up our
Lips
lips
that we may
praise your name. Open up our hearts so we can feel our pain. Open up our souls, let our love make us whole, and we may praise.
We may praise.
We may praise your name. Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach.
Ufi Yagid
Tehilatecha.
Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Baruch Ata Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Koneh Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Ata Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah, Ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Ata Rav Lehoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Baal Gevurot, Ubido Melach, Melech Memit Umechayeh, Umatmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata lahachayot hakol, Baruch ata Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
We continue with the meditations of our hearts, or the words that we find on the page.
Prayer for peace for all of us and everywhere. Ose shalom bimroma, uyase shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimroma, uyase shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ose shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimroma, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
May the maker of peace send peace to us, peace to all Israel, all inhabitants of the world, and especially an extra measure of peace to those who are in need of healing, whether it is a healing of mind, of body, or of spirit. If there's someone who you are thinking of this Shabbat who could use that extra measure of shalom, of refuah shlema, of speedy healing, I'll invite you to rise here in the sanctuary so that we may hear their names. If you're on Zoom, please write their names in the chat so that we can hold them in our hearts as well as we wish them prayers for healing. We think of all of them as we turn to the words of Mi Sheberach on page 371.
Mi Sheberach Avoteinu מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Yishepelach imotenu mikol habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
And if the journey of your week has brought you to a Shehechianu moment, to a God-given moment of celebration, let us take a moment to lift those up here in our community. So, any birthdays perhaps in the space of this last week? Oh, yeah. Any birthdays in the room in the space of this last week? You're just misinterpreting our signs. It's okay. Birthday. Care to say the number? Happy birthday.
So tall.
2 decades. Amazing. Happy birthday to you. I know it's also Martha Fagan had a birthday in the last week. So mazal tov to you on Zoom. If you are adding those things in the chat, amazing. We can celebrate you virtually, and I'll go back and look at them later because I forgot to bring my laptop. Very sorry. Any anniversaries in the room, perhaps? July, summer weddings. Tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, that counts.
Mazal tov. How many years? 34. Mazal tov to you. Beautiful. Anniversaries, or perhaps any other God-given moments that we want to lift up here in our community. A birthday and going to Israel on Sunday. Just a wealth of riches. Nisiat Tova, have a wonderful journey. Amazing. Other moments we want to lift up here in our space. Beautiful. This sounds like plenty of good occasions that are worthy of a Shehechianu, so let's join together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kimanu v'hegianu l'zman hazeh. We say Amen.
Bamidbar, the book of Numbers, chapter 35. Vayidaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el bnei Yisrael va'amarta alehem. God spoke to Moses and said, "Speak to the Israelite people and say to them that when you cross the Jordan into the land of Canaan, you shall provide yourselves with places that will serve as cities of refuge. To which one who has slain a person unintentionally, they may flee. The city shall serve you as a refuge from the Redeemer, the blood avenger. So the killer may not die unless he has stood trial before the assembly. The towns that you thus assign shall be 6 cities of refuge in all. 3 of them will be designated beyond Jordan, and the other 3 shall be established in the land of Canaan, and they shall serve as cities of refuge. These 6 cities shall serve the Israelites and the resident aliens among them for refuge, so that any person who slays a person unintentionally may flee there." So in the last few moments of the book of Numbers, in the home stretch of a long journey for the Israelites, we find this particular rule for a very specific situation. If one kills another without hatred or desire to hurt, the killer will be taken to a safe city. And this is the law of justice for all time in the land. So this idea of an Ir Miklat, a city of refuge, shows up in Exodus in Parshat Mishpatim, which states that if one kills another person, they will be put to death. However, if they didn't kill intentionally, God will assign you a place to which you can flee. And here in Parshat Maseh, we gain a clearer understanding of the legal process for these cities. These cities are unique places of sanctuary for those guilty of manslaughter, the unintentional or accidental killing of another person. And these cities serve the Israelites and the resident aliens so that anybody who murders someone accidentally may flee there. Removing the ability to avenge death halts the cycle of violence. It prevents more lives from being lost. The purpose of these lands of asylum was less about punishment, but rather about protection. See, if a person accidentally killed another, you might imagine a situation where others may want revenge. Think about the times in your life when a second chance might have made a significant difference. Think about when you might have been too quick to judge a friend or another person before having all of the evidence. Therefore, we can understand the city of refuge, it's a boundary that protects all parties involved from more pain. Now, this is a very different justice system than what we see today, and we cannot equate the two. However, the Torah does share in these few verses what justice could and should look like. The cities of refuge may not be practicable today in the same way, and still they are timely as a metaphor for equal justice and restoration. You see, the Torah is not interested in the wealth or status of the victim of the crime, and it offers no avenue for wealthy offenders to evade responsibility. It honors the life of the victim and even forces unintentional offenders to experience dislocation so that they can reflect on the harm that they have caused. So this Torah portion lays out two crucial individual and communal structures. This is a communal structure that limits further harm and provides access to pathways of healing for the community. And for an individual needing a city of refuge, it provides a framework for practicing compassion and empathy while working with the community to provide human dignity. And this is what restorative justice is. So unlike a penal system, restorative justice seeks to repair the harm caused by a crime by bringing together victims, perpetrators, and community members. Restorative justice stresses the idea that perpetrators must take responsibility for their actions. It emphasizes holding perpetrators accountable and allowing for processing feelings for harms done, and the Jewish ideal of teshuvah, of personal repair. What would it look like? What would it look like if those taking time to heal in a land of asylum were commanded to sit down with their victims and their victims' family and tribal leaders to listen to both parties' pain, to their loss, their grief, and their sadness? What might it look like if the blood avenger were instead commanded to engage in the process of restorative justice? Now, I love the process of restorative justice because it gives voice to the pain and trauma of every party, to the perpetrator, to the victim, to society. This process is becoming much more popular within the American penal justice system as a way for those who deliberately committed crimes to grow into more compassionate and empathetic people and heal. So even if a person accidentally murdered someone, there is undoubtedly space for healing for everyone involved. And that's the most crucial element of this whole process, a pathway to healing. Now, I've seen this work firsthand. Last summer, I spent time at the Osborne Association. It's a multi-service criminal justice reform organization. Osborne runs programs for people who have been in conflict with the law and with their families. I served last summer as their chaplain and witnessed firsthand the incredible power of restorative justice. I saw children and their fathers repair relationships that had been broken for so long. I got to speak to people who had been formerly incarcerated and who actively work with family members for whom their loved ones are incarcerated. They would speak their truth to one another to better understand and work through difficult emotions. Mostly, I just witnessed a lot of vulnerability, a lot of work, and a lot of healing. The process of restorative justice allows for the restoration of relationships. It breaks the cycle of violence, and it creates space for healing among broken souls and hurting societies. So this city of refuge, it might be seen as the first step in the process of disrupting the cycle of violence encouraged by a blood avenger. This practice allows the person guilty of an accidental killing to stop running, and stop running with the worry that they are being pursued, becoming another victim of the system. This Ir Miklat was a way for our ancestors to turn revenge-seeking on its head. Using a restorative justice process with crime victims and perpetrators can be a journey toward healing, dignity, responsibility, reintegration into society, and hope. Hope for all. So as we complete the book of Numbers, we look ahead to the next book of our Torah, the next chapter in the journey of the Israelites. And when we finish a book of Torah, we say, Chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek. Be strong, and let us strengthen one another as we make our way to the next book of Torah. And so, may we continue to support and to strengthen our society from a place of love, compassion, and dignity for all, so that we can provide each other and the whole world with the healing that we may need. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Yasher Koach, Ryan. Let us sing this song for the turning of the world, that we may turn as one. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our turning. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our turning. Let us sing this song for the healing of the world, that we may heal as one. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our healing. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along. With every voice, with every song, we will move this world along, and our lives will feel the echo of our healing, and our lives will feel the echo of our turning.
It's one of my favorites. Thanks for singing.
Thanks for asking me to sing that tonight.
You got it. So let us join together on page 586 as we begin the conclusion of our service together for our Aleinu prayer.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונה. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Before we conclude our service, we take a moment to recognize those who are not physically present with us in this world. We join together on page 598 for the Mourner's Kaddish. If there's anybody here in the room this evening who's saying a yahrzeit for someone, or is in the period of shloshim, or is holding somebody close to their heart, I invite you to rise at this time, and we'll come around and we'll witness and hear all of the names and hold them together in our hearts. So for all those names that we say out loud, and for all those names that we keep in the heart's close place, and for all those who have no one left to say Kaddish for them, we'll rise together as one community to support our mourners and join together on page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehi shalama Rabbah min shamaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Huya aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Zichronam levracha. May their memories be a blessing to us all. All right.
All right.
All right. We're here. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's so great to be able to just feel the warmth in this building, to hear all of your voices singing. It's really a true treat. There's just a few announcements that there's a lot happening all the time at TVE, so I invite you to check out our webpage and see what's going on. I'm just going to highlight a few things. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., we are offering Minyan in person as well as a hybrid option. So if you'd like to join us in person to see what's going on, come and learn some Torah. You'll get to learn with Rabbi Harper and a little bit of music with me. You're more than welcome to join us 10 a.m. in the Beit Midrash. We'll be here. We had such a wonderful summer institute. Thank you for everybody who joined. It was so unbelievably sweet. We had so much programming and so much wonderful participation from everybody, and so really happy about that. Looking ahead, guys, we're traveling a lot. That's what's happening in the world. We're going to Israel in October. We're going to Israel again in February for families. We're going to Israel again in April. That might be it. No, there's another one in October. There's another one in October, and there's another one in late October. Those might be the same thing, I don't know. But what we're also doing is going down to Atlanta, to Selma, Montgomery on a civil rights trip. Registration for that trip is due very, very soon. So if you're interested, talk to me. And I think that's it. Anything else?
If you are a little one, or if you have a little one in your life, and you're interested about finding out what the blessing is for chocolate and candy, not this Saturday, tomorrow, but next Saturday, we're having a Tat Shabbat and a candy maker space, and we're learning She'akol Nihiyeh Bidvaro. Oh, I gave it away. The blessing for candy, and we're going to make creations for the Jewish holiday of love, Tu B'Av.
I love it. So there's nothing else to do except to make some kiddush, do some blessings, and then do the challah. But let's start with kiddush.
I think, beautiful. All right.
Come on up.
Beautiful.
Come on up, and we will all rise together as one community for these blessings.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pari ha'kafeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקרא קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
L'chaim.
I think that was juice.
Juice? That's all you then. It's all for you.
Oh, one
Oh, we
second,
have to
Julie.
uncover. We got to make the big reveal. Thank you, Julie. Go ahead. Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. B'tei avon. Shabbat shalom, everyone. May you have a restful, restorative, and meaningful Shabbat.
La, 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 la.